Hello and welcome back to ABG Sundal Collier's Investor Days. My name is Benjamin Wallstedt. I am an equity research analyst at the Stockholm Consumer Team. With me today, I have the CEO and CFO of Embellence Group to talk about their company. So please, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and welcome to the presentation of Embellence Group. Yesterday, we had our first Capital Markets Day, so what we will present and share with you is a short version of that. And my name is Olle Svensk. I've been the CEO of this company since almost, or more or less 8 years, actually, so I'm starting to get into it. And with me today, I have Karin Lidén, CFO of Embellence Group. So let's get started. Our business. Well, we believe at Embellence Group that the rooms and the environment you're in affects your thoughts and emotions and feelings. And we want to be a part of that and of that surrounding and making an impact through the power of our design. We also have an ambition to be a leader in interior decoration with a certain focus on brands, on premium brands, but also especially on wallpaper, as well as complemented by other pattern-based and colorful categories such as rugs and textile. Our focus, well, that is to ensure the long-term success of our brands. We have 5 brands in our portfolio today, and each of them, we will support them and in their growth journey, but at the same time respect their uniqueness and special position in the market. And we will do that by providing each brand with what they need to develop, design, commercialize their products in their quality to their core customers, but at the same time doing the smart things and the meaningful things on an Embellence Group. But we have 5 brands, 1 manufacturing unit, but 5 brands. That's key for us, brands. So some fast facts then. We've been in premium wallpaper for 150 years, so we have been able to pick up a few things. We have 5 great brands. We have manufacturing we do at 3 sites. In weaving mill in Leksand for Pappelina rugs. We have state-of-the-art digital printing in Italy for the customized Wall&decò wallpaper. And then 1 larger manufacturing unit that is in Borås, producing wallpaper, mainly for Embellence brands, but also for external customers. And that's the site in Borås is the only one that we operate as a separate entity. Head office in Borås, brand offices in UK, Italy, and US. We are quite international as a company. Our products were bought in more than 100 countries last year, but Sweden, UK, Italy, and US being the largest one. Coming back to our brands and our manufacturing entity, I will want to give you a snapshot what they are. Where to start? Of course, in wallpaper, our core category, and of course with a brand that is kind of the starting point for us existing, and that's Boråstapeter. Here is a design called Valdemar. It's a homage to the founder of Boråstapeter, Valdemar Andrén in 1905. And ever since then, I would say that Boråstapeter is very much rooted in the Swedish heritage with a lot of colors, patterns, the nature brought into the design. Very romantic collections, many of them as well. So Boråstapeter, our largest brand, last year, revenue of 283 million, sold in more than 65 countries, dominant countries, of course, Sweden. Our second largest brand in wallpaper, that's Cole & Son. It's the oldest brand, 1875, known for both for its rich history, with an archive of more than 1,500 block prints, and the oldest one are from the mid 18th century. Known for its commitment to craftsmanship, to artistic elegance, and hand painted many of them. 154 million last year, sold in more than 65 countries. UK and US by far the biggest market. Our third wallpaper brand, it's from Italy, Wall&decò, innovation and design, very powerful, strong design, but very innovative also when it comes to solutions. This is the reference brand in customized wallpaper for projects, offering, you know, classical indoor wallpaper, but also out system for facades or wet system for shower rooms or damp areas. 98 million last year, most international brand, more than 100 countries, Italy and Germany, the two biggest ones. Over the recent years, we have expanded and acquired company outside wallpaper. The first one was in 2021, and that's Pappelina. When we, you know, started to get to know more about Pappelina, it had many of the, you know, ingredients we were looking for. A clear position, a clear, quite clean design with a big connection to or very Scandinavian touch. Company is not big, it's 47 million, but quite international. Sold in more than 50 countries, Germany, Sweden, and US being the core ones. Then in 2022, we acquired another company outside wallpaper, and that's Artscape in US. And for me, it's very much like, you know, wallpaper for windows, both for privacy as well for being decorative, like this design here called New Leaf, which is sold a lot in the US market, or well received there. Artscape predominantly sold in North America. We have very little sales outside North America. 111 million was the revenue last year. Participating in a category, window film, or present in a category that has had a couple, some challenging years, 22 and 23, but now is starting to pick up, and the market is growing around 5% right now. Then, last but not least, in 2022 we took an important decision internally that led to let Boråstapeter focus on design, marketing and sales of their products, while we separated the production to another entity. Borås Tapetfabrik has a lot of knowledge and experience in the category and is really resourceful when it comes to insights on material, on inks, different printing methodologies, whether it's, you know, surface print, very old, rich color, traditional way of printing, or very modern digital design. Borås Tapetfabrik is mainly supplying internal brands, our internal Embellence brands, but also has a growing position with external companies and external brands. Last year reached a revenue of 48 million of external companies and or brands, and most of them from the Nordics. Let's talk a little bit about our market then. And as I said, the window film market is coming back to an okay growth rate. The rug market is huge. We are super small. So how the wind blows in the rug market is not really relevant to us, to be honest, because we have so much space to grow there. A category that the market wins is important for us, though, is wallpaper, as we have a big share there and have a strong position. So let's talk a little bit about that one. So the addressable the market opportunity in wallpaper. Let's start off the, you know, wallpaper sits in the interior decoration category, which is big. It's very large, fantastic place to be. $800 billion. 55% is furniture. So wallpaper is unfortunately not the biggest one, but if we zoom into the global market for wallpaper, the value is around $10 billion. 60% is residential, private persons to homes, and 40% is what is called contract, mainly to hospitality segment, to hotels, resorts, and restaurants. Our addressable market, well, that's $2 billion. because we are only participating in the premium part. We only want to focus, or we are only focusing on the premium part. Then, I mean, one important trigger point for the market behavior is actually the intent to renovate. Renovation is, a big trigger, an important trigger for us. And we continue to look at different indicators here. And one of them here I want to share with you, which is the homeowners renovation intention. Looking at 3 of our core markets, Sweden, UK, and US. If we start with the 2020 as index, we see that we had the increase during the COVID pandemic. Then it's been a challenged market in all 3 of them. US had held up fairly well, relatively, while UK is -27% compared to the starting point here. So the good news is, even though the market has been challenged, we have performed better. But there are also a couple of other good news is that there are indications that the market is starting to come back. A month ago, I was in mid-April, I was at Salone del Mobile, probably the most prominent and important interior decoration and furniture fair in the world. And they reported 20% more visitors than last year. So, I mean, a general buzz, a very positive buzz in these categories. And then I bumped into several people from different companies, to MDs and owners and what have you. And also in the industry of wallpaper, there is an opinion that this market will probably be flat this year. But there are indications that it start to pick up next year at 3-4%. So generally very positive market situation, I would say, coming from that. Talking about competitors then, well, wallpaper is a very fragmented landscape. You have many brands and players and labels as well. It's a large focus on volume and low price point. Actually, it's 75% is in the basic and mid segment. Several traditional national, legacy brands normally only focus on their domestic market, maybe do some export to a neighboring country. Very few larger players, very few with a revenue above 1 billion. But of course, we have new entrants in this category as well, taking the benefits of digital printing and selling directly to end consumers. And this is happening in Sweden and in UK and many other markets. So there are new entrants in the category as well. But if we take a quick look at the total market, how it's set up and divided. So there are 2 big or major types. It's the residential part, going to private homes, consumers make the decision. That's 60% of the market. This is where we're coming from. We're still our biggest part of the business. 40% of the market is contract, mainly serving hospitality market. And there are 2 major changes or dynamics in this one important to know is that the residential part, traditional retail is under pressure, and consumers are buying online in this category as well, directly from the brands like us or through online partners. So that's one part, traditional retail and that's our heritage, to be honest, to be present in physical retail. The other dynamic important to know is hospitality is growing and it's expected to outgrow the total category. Partly because it's big investments into renovating hotel and also to some part building new hotels. But another important factor is wallpaper perceived as a very interesting alternative to tiles or stone because it's more sustainable, easier to install, have a massive impact in terms of the surrounding and so on. So this is growing part of the market. Now coming to our strategy now, the updated strategy that we shared more or less 25 hours ago. So hot off the press, still the same. This is our way of creating shareholder value. So first of all, the foundation, which is how we are as a company, you could call it our culture, with entrepreneurial spirit, very creative, want to lead, being agile and fast as well in the market. We can do that through being decentralized as a company as well. So the brands and the production, manufacturing entity should be autonomous, but also responsive. So we support our brands from an Embellence standpoint with different functions. And then we have strong finances. That is also something that we have. You know, we have strong gross margins, nice cash flow, decent EBITDA. This is something that's us, kind of. But the change now is the 6 strategic growth areas. You see here on top here, and what we will focus on, you know, the coming 4 or 5 years. The first one is that we are dialing up our focus on organic growth. So we have dialing up. We are putting more focus on organic growth, and we will do that through continue to make our great brands even greater, nurturing our design icons by updating maybe with another color and refresh and so on, product innovation as well, expand into certain geographies. US I expect to be very important for us. It's already, but even further, and channels as well that are growing. Hospitality part and direct to consumer, what I talked about before. Continue to utilize group synergies, supporting our brands so they can do what they are best at while we support them on other things. And on M&A, we are zooming in and narrowing the focus. We will continue to have it as an element, but we are much more narrow on the kind of companies we're looking at. And to pick some of the areas to give you a bit more flavor, here on product innovation, I mean, we believe that desirable products can only come from sustainable businesses. And from a greenhouse gas emission standpoint, 72% of our footprint comes from the product. We're a product company. So that's where we have to start, right? And we have made some inroads over the last years that were world's first, actually, with Pappelina launching Bio Edition, where it's bio-sourced carbon neutral PVC with pine oil instead of fossil fuel, lowering dramatically the carbon footprint. Then, and here we took that insight and experience into Wall&decò beginning of this year. And here is where Embellence makes sense. So we in terms of product development. So Wall&decò launched Decodura, which is the world's first bio-based vinyl wallpaper with all the certificates in place. Fire rating, scratchability, durability, and with a 50% lower carbon footprint. And this we did in our Wall&decò's biggest category. And we just changed into that. Now dramatically lower the carbon footprint. And as an acknowledgement of that, last week we received the German Innovation Award for Decodura. Decodura is the name of this. Geography and channel expansion, very quick. We used to be very national with our brands. Last 4 or 5 years, we have internationalized our business, less dependent on 1 or 2 markets. We'll continue to do that. Certainly, I expect to grow in the US, in continental Europe, and through hospitality around the Mediterranean Sea. Direct consumer, we are present in 35 countries today. We do that mainly for brand building and to give the consumers, overview, whatever, all the alternatives we have. But it also gives us possibility to get fast feedbacks, especially on designs or coloring and so on. We will always sell at full retail price, and thereby, because we don't want to compete with our partners and dealers. But there, well, we also have healthy gross margins in this part. Going forward, continue focus on the brand positioning, support the consumer or the customer on their journey. And for us, it doesn't matter if the customer buys from one of our partners or buy from us, as long as we give them a good customer journey and close the loop and close the deal, right? We will only open in markets where it's profitable for us. This is not, this is everything we will do. We are in 35 countries, so we'll probably open in some more, but it got to make sense as well. Hospitality, very quick, a large category or large sector, $4.7 trillion US dollar. I hardly know how much that is. Big part here is hospitality, but you also have other areas to decorate. You have restaurants and bars like this one here with the Wall&decò, and you have the spas, the gyms, the country house, the golf clubs, where you have a lot of investments and a lot of money going into, and where wallpaper fits really well. We focus on the 4 and 5 stars. Hotel corridors is not our thing. I mean, we are right now starting to deliver products to a hotel project in Egypt, 350 rooms. We do 35 of them, and restaurant and the lounge. So not all of it. But there are 700,000 resorts in the world, and many rooms. US is expected to lead this. 70% of the hotel industry globally is actually run through US. Wallpaper is a winning share. I mean, premium hotels normally renovate every 3 to 5 years. Wallpaper offers a cost-efficient and fantastic way to decorate the wall, and we see increased demand for this as well. M&A, we are narrowing our focus on this, continue to be a part of the puzzle for us, but moving from, compared to the IPO, having more than 200 companies in target, now we have less than 20. With this said, I'm now handing over to Karin to talk about sustainability and finance.
Thank you, Olle. And I know we're running short of time, so I keep it sweet and crisp. The example of Pappelina Wall&decò collaboration that Olle shared earlier is one of the things we focus on and that we will focus on during the next years. First and foremost, improving the footprint for our products. We will also update our overall sustainability targets and commit to the science-based target initiatives during next year. And of course, be ready for CSRD when times come. As part of this update, we presented the new financial targets yesterday at our Capital Markets Day, where we have really only changed our sales target. Going from a company focusing on M&A with very aggressive growth targets that were primarily built on acquisitions to an organic growth-focused company means we need to change the sales target. So 1 billion SEK by 2028 means around 6% growth every year, and any M&A we do will come on top of this 1 billion. The other targets remain the same: profitability above 15% EBITDA, and dividend and leverage targets are the same. With that, I think that's all from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I have time for one question, I believe. Your financial targets, as you mentioned, imply a 6% sales CAGR. The wallpaper market is very mature. I would imagine the whole wallpaper market is not growing too dramatically, at least. And you also have, at least in Boråstapeter, a very strong market share. How do you imagine going to a 6% growth rate, please?
First of all, we have, during the last 3-4 years, right? 3 years, we have grown, our core brands has grown 2%, so we have performed better than the market. Now, listen to what the industry of wallpaper says, is opinion that the market will come back to a growth of 3-4% from 2025. So that will help us. But also the inroads we do with our own direct consumer, and even more importantly in hospitality, because that cake is growing and we are still very small and we want to take a bigger share of it. So that's how we will do it.
A market return, and you will continue outperforming the market.
That's
Yeah.
what we do, huh?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
With that, I think it is time to say goodbye to Olle and Karin. Stay tuned, more presentations will follow.